Hello, best friends of mine. Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you guys are doing well. It's time to talk our favorite subject, cheapies. Fragrances that are not going to cost you all that much money. They haven't even been affected by inflation. I think, actually, they probably have. But they're still cheaper than most everything else out there, assuming you shop at discounters. Still got some really good fragrances to talk to you guys about here today, and some of them I have not mentioned all that often at all. So it'll be good to bust some of these out, go down memory trail a little bit. All of these are gonna be linked in the description. Feel free to check them out there. Let's get started. Let's just jump straight into it with this one right here, Dunhill Desire Gold. Dunhill, man. They have seen better days as pertains to fragrances anyway, haven't they? And actually, there are some fragrances that are super high quality for really good price. The Dunhill Signature Collection, you should look that up. They have some bangers that you can pick up for like $50 at discounters. Almost feels like stealing because it's just like, oh, I feel bad. It's almost like you're going to a house that's been foreclosed on or something and they've just taken everything that person owned and they're selling it for like pennies on the dollar. That's kind of how it feels. It's like, oh, Dunhill, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for you. Here, $2, enjoy. I'm so sorry. So check those out too, but Dunhill Desire Gold, I've not talked about this much at all. And this one you can find at discounters for a very low price. Dunhill does need to make a comeback, don't they? They need just like a new line that comes out and really crushes it right from the get-go, you know, get some of that respect back on their name. Dunhill, I'm rooting for you. So this one right here, Desire Gold, this is kind of an Aventus style fragrance. I know. Nowadays, you say Aventus style fragrance and people just kind of hit you with like a, ooh, wow. If this came out many years ago, it would have been an absolute smash hit. So to an extent, this is something that missed, you know, the timing of when it should have dropped. So this has bergamot, black currant, some papyrus in there, oak moss as some of the notes in the fragrance. And like I said, similar to Aventus, could also remind you of Hasavat from Nishane, which of course that also smells kind of like Aventus. Decent amount of vanilla in this fragrance as well as it dries down. And this is one that you can wear year round, any season, daytime or nighttime. And the quality is actually surprisingly good. So Desire Gold, if you're looking for an under the radar, inexpensive Aventus style fragrance, God knows there's not many of those out there, right? Then this should be on your radar. Really good and definitely nowhere near as much play as Mont Blanc Explorer or Club de Nuit Intense Man. Way less popular, but the quality is on par. Before we head to the next fragrance, guys, here are some codes for you to use to save yourselves some money. The new JOMASHOP codes are right here. They are only good through mid-September, and you have to use the JOMASHOP app for those to work. And there's also a new code, which is for the Oud store, and that code is Gents10 for 10% off. So new codes, old codes, all the codes still work. Let's go next to this one, Dumont Paris Nitro Blue. Now when it comes to Dumont and it comes to Nitro, Nitro Red is the one that gets talked about the most. That's the most popular, the most hyped. That one smells kind of reminiscent of Invictus if it had a little tryst with Baccarat Rouge 540. This one right here, more similar to Pegasus from Parfums de Marly. But there is a little twist. It's not the exact same as Pegasus. This one has a little more sweetness to it, which I actually really enjoy because Pegasus, to my own personal taste, not my favorite Parfums de Marly fragrance. And there's also a clone of that called Craze from Armaf that a lot of people like, and that's a good one too. But between the two, Craze and Nitro Blue, as far as just the overall scent profile, I like this one more, and it is because of that twist. Like I said, a little sweetness added in there. Really nice, under the radar, once again. So it's one of those fragrances that, you know, not everybody's out there wearing. And for the price point, you can get a lot of usage out of this one. This is another one that has just about year-round versatility, daytime or nighttime, and good complement factor too. So I know Nitro Red, like I said, all the hype, but Nitro Blue, really, really good also. After that, let's talk about this one, Mont Blanc Emblem. Everybody, when you're talking Mont Blanc, you're talking cheapies. Explorer, that comes up. Legend, that one comes up. Emblem doesn't come up quite so often. So this is one that's gonna be right around 30 bucks, and there were a couple of flankers in the Emblem line also, but it just never took off in a huge way. I do think the bottle looks pretty slick, especially for a fragrance that's about 30 bucks. So this has cardamom, violet leaf, clary sage, grapefruit as some of the notes in the fragrance. Really nice, sweet, appealing, little warmth to it as well. As it dries down, you have cinnamon in there, tonka, some woody notes, and it has like a vague similarity to fragrances like CH Men from Carolina Herrera. It's not super strong, so it's not got like massive performance, but it's fine enough. Like to me, for the price point, I don't think it's that bad. And as I said, it's a little similar, more like in the same family as CH Men, and CH Men is also not super strong. Great scent though, very overlooked, nice versatility, good daytime or evening fragrance, nice compliment puller as well. Just spray a little more of it on. Good stuff. Now we got another cologne. This one is called Hardwood by Fragrance World. Yep, Hardwood. That's what it be. And this one is a clone of Bath & Body Works Mahogany Woods. Now, every time I talk about Mahogany Woods, I kind of have to really briefly touch on that, because if you don't know, you're gonna hear Bath & Body Works Mahogany Woods. Like, who cares about a clone of Bath & Body Works? Yeah, that crappy store that I walk by in the mall that just smells like candle death, like 15,000 synthetic fragrances assaulting me at once. Yeah, no thanks. But Mahogany Woods, at one point in time, was considered one of the best cheap fragrances that you could get. It was an actual banger from Bath & Body Works, like legitimately, actually really good. It had vanilla, amber, cognac, of course, mahogany wood as some of the notes in the fragrance. And it was a scent that was just sexy, cozy, sweet, warm, and for the price point, smelled ridiculously good. Way, way better than it had any right to. And what happened? Well, what happens to just about every good fragrance eventually? It got discontinued. And so it went from a fragrance that you used to be able to find for next to nothing to a jacked up price on eBay. And I know that Bath & Body Works apparently kind of tried to walk it back, and they were like, well, let's go ahead and put out a new version of Mahogany Woods, you know, and they put that back out, and you can find it now for whatever, 30, 40 bucks, something like that, at least on eBay. So there is that now. There is that now. If you want to go and scoop up the re-release. I have not actually smelled the re-release yet to see how close it is to the original, but Hardwood here on the low, cheap price will get you like 95% of the way to the OG Mahogany Woods. So everything I said about Mahogany Woods, that is Hardwood as well. And I mean, this is one where you can tell right away what they're doing. Presentation, box, everything looks super similar to the Bath & Body Works. So Hardwood, big thumbs up. And assuming that the new re-release smells like the old original release of Mahogany Woods, that one also get a big thumbs up. But like I said, I haven't smelled it, so it gets a thumbs in the middle waiting for me to smell it. Let's talk Reflesso next. Trussardi Reflesso. This is a fragrance that I've talked about numerous times in cheapie lists over the years, hidden gem lists over the years, and I still think it deserves it. It is maybe not quite as cheap as it used to be. I think when I was looking this up, it was around like $35 now. It used to be under 30 bucks sometimes, but still, it's not like it's skyrocketed or anything. And this stuff smells really, really pleasant. Great for spring and fall, daytime or evening. Be a good date night fragrance also. Got a little violet in there, lavender, and you can pick those up immediately off the top. You have apple, citrus, tonka as it dries down. Also got a little bit of a leathery aspect to it, and it could remind you a bit of La Nuit Alone, the original La Nuit de l'Homme Eau de Toilette. Now, I'm not saying it's the exact same as that. This is not a dupe of that. This is not a clone of that. But this is one of those fragrances where if you like one, you should like the other. They're kind of in the same ballpark, like I mentioned from time to time, describing different fragrances. It's another one, kind of like Emblem over here, where the performance is so-so. It's not amazing, but it is cheap. So that means you can spray it on pretty heavy if you want. And if you're going for a fragrance that has more of an alluring type feel to it, you know, where you catch just really sexy wafts of it, this would work perfectly. But if you're trying to wear something beast mode, super strong, that would not be this. That being said, overlooked, absolutely killer for the price. Let's go to this next, Draco Intense. Gotta work a little Draco in here, of course. Big fan of Draco Noir. It's always like right over here, over my shoulder. See it? Right there. Now, Draco Intense is a little bit of an interesting one. This is one, just getting out these strips. This is one that, first time I smelled it, first few times I wore it, let me down, man. It let me down. It was weak. It was weak off my skin. I was getting no performance. Came back to it a little while later, came back to it again, because, you know, the clarion call of Draco, I can't resist. It's like, let's go, let's try it again, you know? And it worked better for me. Each time it seemed like it worked a little better. And you no longer have to pay full retail for this, which makes it even more attractive. It is crazy cheap. Stuff is like sub $20 at discounters. I think like 18 bucks you can find this. Is it gonna remind you a bit of Draco Noir? Yeah, it's gonna remind you a bit of Draco Noir. Also a little bit of Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. It's gonna remind you a little bit of that. Kind of a melding of those two fragrances, which actually, if you look at this, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like the coloration of Azzaro Pour Homme Intense in the Draco style bottle. So it's got that throwback masculine style to it, that fougere style to it. Really smells great, especially when it's cold outside. And to me, it has almost like a warmth to it, like a warm, spicy aspect to it with a little sweetness. Really appealing, just smells great, very classy, and stupid cheap. Let's go next with this one. Wow, from Jope, but it's not just any wow, it's wow fresh. That little bitty bottle I got from Burlington Coat Factory a while back. And at the time I bought this, you couldn't find it online anywhere, but nowadays you can. A lot of Jope fragrances end up being a little bit difficult to find in the US sometimes. So this one has violet, bergamot, geranium, vanilla as some of the notes in the fragrance, and it's gonna remind you a bit of the discontinued Aqua Fahrenheit. Yeah, Aqua Fahrenheit from Dior, which actually I liked a lot. I've got a couple bottles of it still yet, so that's nice at least, but it is reminiscent of that. And it's really gonna be down to that violet that you pick up in the opening. It's gonna remind you of that, you know, almost water spritzed aqua opening in Aqua Fahrenheit. Quality is great for the price point because this is one that I've seen go for about $20 online, which is, again, just stupid cheap at this point, at this day and age. And if you liked Aqua Fahrenheit, you should check this out as an alternative to that one. That being said, you know, Aqua Fahrenheit probably wouldn't appeal as much to younger guys nowadays, but I still think this is worth mentioning. Still really nice. Let's go next with another Mont Blanc. This is my last Mont Blanc, just two. This is Legend Night. This one, I think, just sometimes gets overlooked a little bit when it comes to the Legend line. Probably this one and Legend Red, but I don't actually really like Legend Red a whole lot, so I would definitely go Legend Night over that one. But when it comes to the Legend line, it's the original, it's Legend Spirit, it's Legend Eau de Parfum, even the new Legend Blue. Not as much this one that gets talked about, at least nowadays. So this one has cardamom, mint, lavender, apple, vanilla. It actually just got a pretty good amount of notes in it. Nowadays, everything has like 3 notes in it. It's interesting to go back and look at note breakdowns from just not even that long ago, you know, like 3-4 years ago, when you actually got these full note breakdowns with like entire tops, mids, and basses with like 5 notes in each one to really give you this full fleshed out picture. And nowadays they're like, here's 3 notes, also go F yourself, which actually this one came out in 2017. So a little while longer back than I was just making it sound like. Man, I can't believe it's been that long. Ugh. Yeah, 2017. And it's got a little similarity to Armani Code Profumo. Some people pointed that out, that it reminds them a bit of that fragrance. Of course, the color scheme, a bit similar to Code Profumo as well. Smells fantastic. Nice warmth and sweetness combined together, a little freshness off the top. Really appealing, easy to wear, sexy and classy. I feel like a broken record. This is another fragrance though. Not the strongest in the world, but it is perfectly suited for a date. Let's go next with this one, Lagerfeld, Karl Lagerfeld, New York, Mercer Street. Which I guess technically the name is Karl Lagerfeld, Karl, New York, Mercer Street, but whatever. Lagerfeld, as always, got the cheapies on lockdown. This brand is just like super inexpensive at discounters, and this fragrance is no different. Lime, basil, white pepper, rhubarb, some of the notes in the top and mid of this one. Really clean, fresh, little aquatic as well. You've got some white flowers in there. It's gonna be vaguely reminiscent of something like Aqua de Jo. You've got vetiver or woody notes as it dries down. It's just basically an easy going fragrance. Like I said, just super clean, easy to wear, versatile. Not anything crazy complex, not anything new, nothing like that. It's just, look, do you want a fragrance that smells clean, that people are going to really like, that's gonna cost you nothing, that you can wear everywhere in spring and summer? The answer is yes. Something like that is gonna do that for you. And as I said, Lagerfeld has a bunch of cheap fragrances out there, so you can just look through the brand and find something that works for you there and pay nothing for it, or close to. Last but not least, Azzaro Chrome Pure. I just want to be pure. Chrome has like 50 million flankers at this point. So, you know, it's easy to see why different Chrome flankers might fly under the radar a little bit. And to be fair, some Chrome flankers are really not that good, but then others are actually pretty nice. And this one, decently unique, especially for a Chrome. It has citrus, aquatic notes, orange blossom, good amount of tonka in there as well, and mate as one of the notes as well. And at the end of the day, this one is a fresh, sweet fragrance, a little bit of a creamy aspect to it as well, but like I said, actually decently unique. A lot of fragrances out there, you can say this smells like that, or this smells like that and that put together, this smells like bits of this, that, and that. But Chrome Pure, even at the end of the day, being just kind of a simple, sweet, fresh fragrance, is its own simple, fresh, sweet fragrance. And it becomes more and more appealing the more you wear it. Like when I wear this one, I really, really dig it. And it's one that I find myself going back to. You know, over the years, even with all the stuff that I've got, I like to go back and wear this from time to time. And it came out the same year as this one right here, 2017. So we got a couple 2017 boys kind of wrapping this up. So there we go, guys. 10 hidden gem fragrances, cheapies, not gonna cost you that much money, that most people, the overwhelming majority of people out there, don't know about, aren't wearing, but they should know these. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.